Good morning. I'm sure we'll have more folks joining, or I hope. I'm Christina Elger. I'm the Director of Hospitality and Resident Services. For this month, last month, it was asked if we would do an amnesty day to collect any items you might have had in your apartment that belong to the breakers. We did such a thing. It yielded 4 coffee cups, 2 water glasses, a salad bowl, a dessert bowl, 3 hand weights, 2 resistant bands, a squeeze ball, and a squeeze block. If you have items that belong to the breakers, please return them. Centerpieces, pens, coffee cups. We know they're out there, so please send them home. Going forward, I've been working with Molly about doing some outdoor summer games. That was really popular last year, so we're going to be looking to do some summer games. So watch your buzz for more information. They'll be either out in the courtyard or up on the 3rd floor. I've completed floor meetings all the way down to the 4th floor residents, and I will start them again in the fall. Just because everybody's so busy through the summer, we'll give everybody a summer reprieve. But don't hesitate. If you have questions, concerns, please feel free to reach out to me in the meantime. And then early fall, we'll get a schedule going for the floor meetings coming through the fall into next spring. Handwritten notices, such as something like these, please don't post them around the building. If you have a concern about something in a certain area, this one was put on a washer. If you notice a washer is not working, a dryer or anything around the building is not working, don't put a handwritten notice on it. Let the front desk know. If we have something that may be out of order, we'll put a proper sign on it. But if we put a handwritten note somewhere, we have no idea that something's wrong until someone else reports it. So please don't post handwritten notices. Go to the front desk and they will take care of everything. Any other questions? All right, thanks.
Hello, good morning everybody. My name is Antonio. I gotta see new faces right now. I'm the chef with the breakers. It's only, I talked with the information for the next month. I got 3 events. I got a Friday my feed. I got a Mexican food, it's in Cinco de Mayo. I gotta make a regular dinner, it's Mexican food for that. Mother's Day is May 14, it's a brunch, it's 11 to 3. And the Memorial Day is a barbecue, it's 11 to 3 too. Something questions for that? No? Okay, the menu chart is for the May 24. If something complaints, concerns, questions, it's only coming to the meeting, tell me whatever you need for that. Okay, questions? Yes?
I don't have a question, I have applause. I find your delivery, what you present to us is excellent.
Thank you.
Flexibility is excellent. Your team is excellent. I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much. Somebody else? Yes. Okay, here's what I told you. The May 24 is the menu chat. Whatever complaints, concerns, I gotta respond these questions for you. Okay? Somebody else? Thank you so much, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. Michelle Billing, the housekeeping manager. Just wanted to remind everybody about our garbage and disposing of garbage properly in the garbage chute to make sure that we have everything wrapped up and bagged up so we don't have anything in the inside of the garbage chute that's going to get smelly, stinky, and bring pests around. All recycling in boxes. There's recycling bins in the laundry room. No boxes and garbage should be placed in the alcove. There are lost and found bins in the laundry rooms that have been overflowing or just will be collected weekly and be brought down to the lost and found in the mail room. And that's it. Does anybody have any questions? Go ahead.
There was a woman here last night at the meeting who was supposed to come today, and she had a complaint about someone coming into her apartment and putting down a some kind of a trap or whatever, and she has a skin allergy, right? So and she was concerned that she knew nothing about it, and she would like to be able to talk to someone to see when they put something in or spray, are there any chemicals that she might be allergic to?
We would always discuss that with the resident, so you can have her get a hold of me and I can rectify that with her or address her concerns.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, at the last meeting, you were going to clarify the question of having blinds and other things done one time a month. Somebody said it was actually in the policy.
It is. I can get a copy of that to you. So we do do that at the beginning of the month, but we also have the coupons as well. So, go ahead.
Regarding that, would you clarify that the blinds, is that an option, that you can request that the blinds be done, but then you don't have your regular housekeeping? Is that correct, or am I mixed up?
Correct.
And that's.
Okay, I think you should make that clear, that that's an alternative, not a regular ongoing thing.
Yes, and that's, I believe, the way it is stated in the resident handbook, but I can get a copy of that.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Do you mind repeating that for the recording?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. She was asking about the windows and blinds cleaning and the other cleaning that we do in lieu of regular housekeeping the first week of the month. So that is in the resident handbook, so can get a copy of that to anybody that needs it. Go ahead.
I don't want to open up the whole can of worms about what's recyclable and what isn't. But one of the things I see in the recycling a lot is vinyl gloves or whatever, which are not recyclable and which will catch up in the machinery. I just wonder if something could, I'm thinking it must more likely the caregivers who are putting those in there. If something that could be put out to the caregivers to say, don't leave gloves in the recycling.
Okay. I'll look into what we can do about that too. Go ahead.
Just one thing is that if we have maintenance coming into the apartment, and we spoke a little this morning, is it possible we could get a kind of a time frame of when they're going to be there? So if we want to be there, we can do so.
Well, what we had discussed was happened to pertain, Vince's question is if we can get some notice on if somebody is coming to your apartment. What we had spoke about this morning, me and Vince, was pest management coming. So when we have another contractor that would come in, they give us a time frame. So usually their time frame is between 10 and 2. So that's pretty much all I could give you because that's what they give me. Go ahead, Clarice.
There is confusion about whether after a housekeeper comes, we're supposed to sign off saying that they were there, and I don't know, is that a requirement? We've never done that before. Is it new?
I haven't. Yes, Clarice's question was about the residents initialing the housekeeper schedule. Is that something that I've done in the past? I've addressed it a few times already. It's not required, it's just something that kind of helps out. So yes, it's not required, but it's a little bit of a peace of mind for housekeeping and the residents. Okay, go ahead.
Can we use our coupons towards the windows being cleaned instead of giving up the first thing? Can we use a coupon at that point?
Yes, her question is if we could use a coupon instead of having it done in the first week of the month. That would be perfectly fine.
I mean, they can still be done the first week in the month, but I still want a housekeeper. So if I put it on the coupon, and how much does it cost to have your windows cleaned?
It all depends on the size of the apartment. They're different.
Well, the windows in the living room.
I can get that information to you. I don't have it in front of me right now.
Okay, I can get it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, one more.
Yeah, the question came up last night about the vents in the bathrooms and in the kitchen are spitting out dirt quite frequently. Is that a maintenance issue or a house cleaning issue to clean? It's a work order.
That would be a work order and that would be maintenance.
No, I think this is more than just everybody doing their own work order. This is more of a whole building-wise thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about the amount of dust and dirt that's coming out of those vents.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
What he's referring to is the vent over the toilet usually, and it's an exhaust vent. The challenge is that you have to get up on something, so we don't want the housekeepers climbing on the toilet, they don't have a ladder and all that. So what I just made a note of, and some of you are familiar with this because you've asked, this spring, we are going through the building again. If you remember, it was last spring, I think it was right before, it was right at the beginning of summer. We went through, we did the filters, the vents, and we went into the unit to change the filter, stuff like that, the smoke detector. Do you guys remember that? The checklist?
Yes.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add that to that. And that's the only way to cover 470 apartments at one time or during a process that's systematized, or we're just gonna chase our tail around the building and not know which, when, how, and the housekeepers can't do it. But since they're vacuuming out that unit and doing the filter, I just made a note of that and we'll add that to that. But it will be done and it has to be done in a systemized fashion so we can cover all the ground. Yes, ma'am?
Don't forget the kitchen vents in that too.
We'll go through the apartments and we'll talk about the checklist, and all the apartments are kind of different, but it'll include the vents.
Great.
Yes, ma'am?
Is it my understanding that you only do the long vents once a year or twice a year?
Once a year. We're gonna do them once a year. Yes, ma'am?
I agree, it should be, well, when they did the filters in my unit, they didn't do the vents. One of them has come to the point where it needs to be done, and I really don't want to hire an outside handyman.
She's referring to the vents again, the same vents that we're talking about,
Unit because,
that it needs to be
oh,
cleaned.
this is all of a sudden, you know, they were dusty, but all of a sudden, they just got,
Don't know when, how it got
but I mean.
where it is today,
It
however,
just happened suddenly, and I need it done.
it will be done as part of the process with the REAC. We call it a REAC inspection, and we go through the entire building and then we'll add it to the
Like you're
checklist.
saying I have to hire somebody to do it.
No, ma'am, you do not have to hire someone. What I'm saying is that we're gonna do it.
Bad, more, it needs to be done now. It's really chock full of, it's blocked.
I'm not gonna tell you if you should hire someone. I'm gonna respond to the vent that it's part of the process when we go through the entire building in a systemized way, so we're not bouncing around all the apartments, and it'll be once a year.
Yeah, which it should be.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, this question is for Michelle.
Yes.
Yesterday, Michelle, I came into my apartment and there was a little box from pest control. And I have 2 autoimmune conditions. And the whatever spray it is that they use, I have to know about.
I got it. Someone brought up your question earlier, and they remembered that you had concerns.
Oh, but
I made a note of that. Any chemicals or products that are used in this building, and this is part of, some of you remember when you were working, they used to call them MSDS sheets. They're called SDS sheets, safety data sheets. Any product, any chemical that we use in this building, they all have these sheets. So what Michelle's gonna do is she's gonna find out, and on our pest control log, it lists that your apartment was treated, what it was treated with. And there's an OSHA sheet that says, this is the chemical, this is the active ingredient, this is the product. And Michelle's gonna make sure that you get that, okay? It's called an SDS sheet.
also, Michelle, because my apartment is small, I need to know if they're coming so I can get my stuff that I don't want contaminated by them up out of the way. I didn't know they were coming. Okay?
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Nora.
No problem.
I hate to go back to the fence issue, but I would like to, because what Duana's describing is, to me, sounds like something that should go in a work order, because it sounds like she has an immediate problem with this. And I think there may be 1 or 2 other places that have an immediate problem. I understand what you're saying about having a long-term unified approach for the whole building. But it sounds like she's talking about something where probably.
What's your apartment number, ma'am? She's referring to her condition of her vent being significant. So, I'm sorry, what's the apartment number? 21K?
Yeah, and this is kind of all of a sudden.
Okay, got it.
Okay, thank you.
The other thing that I wrote down is the gloves with the recyclables. We can change the notice, the flyer, put something on the TV and communicate it to the individuals. Hopefully they'll comply. The other one is that with pest management, we've been through a lot with them and trying to keep up with their system, how they operate, their schedules. And you may not be aware of it, but we're in the process right now of switching contractors. So we have 2 different contractors working in the building, and as of May 15th, we're going to a new pest control organization. So you're gonna see some new folks, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks, they're working on what she mentioned, which is their schedules, what day of the week they're going to be coming out. They're required to come out weekly. Right now they come out Mondays. So we'll communicate with you what the changes are there, but the system doesn't change. If you have any challenges or see something, report it to the front desk. And they have a log, so when the technician arrives, he knows where he needs to go, as far as apartments are concerned. That's it on that side. I just wanted to answer some of that. Kristen, go ahead.
I do, happily. Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen, the Director of Sales and Marketing. And this is Penny Cato, new member of our team. She's made a big splash because she's gotten out and met so many of you, which is wonderful. Penny is our moving coordinator and gal about the community, helping with a lot of different things that she's just jumped in to do. Before Penny tells you a little bit about herself, we will tell you that Penny's been put to work really fast because in April, as I always like to tell you, we will have, not everybody physically arriving, but anyway, 10 people are starting a new lease in April as of today. So we're really excited about that. We already have 6 other people who are heading our way for May, which means May could easily be 10 or more as well. So a lot of new faces, and we appreciate you all being so friendly and welcoming to all of our new residents. So Penny, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Hi everybody, I'm Penny Cato. I'm the new move-in coordinator. I am very excited to be here at the Breakers. I just started my 4th week here, so I came back. I've come back every day. Yeah. I am a new resident to the Edgewater community after falling in love with a vintage condo, and after my husband said nothing north of Belmont. What's 30 blocks north of Belmont? It's no big deal. So I am loving the neighborhood and the community, and I am thrilled to be part of the Breakers. Everyone has been very kind to me. So anyway, that's about it. I'm glad to be here.
Hello everyone, I'm Avery, the HR manager, and I want to tell you a bit about what I've been doing this past month. And recruiting is probably the thing that takes up the most of my time, looking to get more staff members on our team in a variety of departments. This past month we welcomed Penny, as well as 3 servers and a cook to our team. And this past week, I've made offers to 2 more servers, a new house person, and someone for our concierge team as well. So once their onboarding is done, they should be starting in the beginning of May. And I'm continuing the recruitment efforts for some open positions in dining services and in our maintenance department. So you may see me walking around with people, doing tours, doing the interviews and whatnot. So I hope you continue to show the lovely hospitality that you've shown me and our new team members to our candidates as well. I've also been working a lot with team training and development. There is some city mandated training that has to happen annually, so I've spent a lot of time making sure that we're in compliance with that, and also keeping up with senior lifestyles trainings as well, making sure that our team is fully trained and ready to help you all with whatever you need. We honored Earlene Washington from the Dining Services Department with our Heart of Caring Award. It was a really special day. I know some of you were there to see it, and she just really loved the attention. So we're doing this every quarter, and we're collecting comment cards in the mailroom and also at the front desk. You can also reach out to me directly through email or through my phone to let me know about any team members that are standing out and doing a great job. We love to hear that. And of course, any other concerns or anything regarding team members, you can also direct that to me. And I also wanted to mention that I do a scrapbooking club monthly, and I'm taking over the walking club next week. So if you want to get to know me more, come hang out, say hi, I'll be around. Does anyone have anything they'd like to ask or comment on? Yes.
Yes, can you say anything about recruiting for the manager of plant operations?
We have 4 candidates that I've screened that are coming in for interviews between this week and next. We are looking for the right person for the role, not just anyone that has the experience, but who's going to fit well with the team and with our residents, in addition to being able to do the job well. So yes, we have about 4 people coming in, and we're hoping our perfect person is in that group, but we're going to continue that search until we find that person. Yes?
One other question. Do you do exit interviews of any kind?
With the management positions, those do go through the HR department with corporate. Typically with entry-level positions, I reach out and they don't always want to respond. But yes, we do try to get feedback from team members that leave.
So corporate does the exit interviews with management, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think our concern is particularly with that maintenance job, because it's such a revolving door if there's been anything identified as to why people can't deal with it.
Yeah, that's why we're really taking our time with this. We've already had 3 or 4 people come in for the role, and they seem great on paper. They've got good personalities, but they're just not, they're not clicking into exactly what we need. So we're not gonna, waste our time, their time, your all time with just hiring anyone. We're really making sure that we find someone that is going to be the best fit for the Breakers. Yes, sir?
Have you offered that position to Kevin?
Yeah. He wants to know if we've offered that position to Kevin. He has a lot of skills and he does very well in his role. We're looking for, it's a big job, it's a big position. Yeah, we can talk to him and see if he's interested. I don't want to speak for him and see about it if he's interested in that role or not. Any other questions or comments? Yes.
I assume you've been careful before in trying to hire the director of building management. What are you doing differently this time?
So I just started working here in January. So this is my first time going through this process. I think that having someone that is dedicated to specifically recruiting, I was just chatting with Kristen earlier this morning about how, she was telling me how grateful she is that there's someone here who, that's pretty much my entire job, is doing that. It was a lot of stress before for the team to have to source their own candidates, do their own screenings, interviews. I'm taking care of all of that for them and weeding out the best candidates so that when we get to the actual final interview stage, they're not sifting through lots of different people. So hopefully with this process and with my support, we can find that best candidate.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else? Lovely, thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Donna Pennycamp. I'm the business office manager. Welcome. I don't have much to report from the business office, except that we are plugging along, status quo. All seems pretty calm in the business office, so that's a good thing, a very good thing. I guess the only item I might reference or like to remind everyone about is just that when you receive your statements, your monthly statements, if there is a charge that concerns you, feel free to reach out to that department's director. They are the best contact to research that concern for you. And again, if you do, if you're not getting a response or you want to reach out to me, that's absolutely fine. You can, and I will research it. But it's always, I guess, to coin a phrase, go to the horse's mouth. That's the best way. I know, that's an oldie but a goodie, right? Any questions for me? Okay, well, have a fabulous day.
Hello, everyone. My name is Molly. I'm the Director of Resident Programming, and I have a lot to talk to you about. So for those of you that have been giving us trip suggestions, thank you. As you know, Shantae will be away from us for a little bit soon, and so we have our trips all planned out for the summer. So if you have more suggestions, we can see what we can make fit, but we are pretty planned for the summer. On May 3rd, we're going to the Gerber Hart Library. Thursday the 11th, we are going to the CSO Open Rehearsal. This is the second out of 3 CSO Open Rehearsals. I know they're a hot ticket item, so if you for some reason know you will not be able to go, please contact us and we'll take you off the list. With that trip being on a Thursday, that week we will swap our Wednesday and Thursday schedule, so we will have our normal Thursday trips going to Northwestern and let's see what else, Evanston, those trips on Wednesday. There will be a memo that will go out and just reminding everybody of that also. On the 17th, we are going to the Mexican Art Museum. We will not be having a trip on May 24th, but then on the 31st, we are going to the White Sox game. So that sign up will be coming out soon. I just ask that everybody, whether it's for a grocery trip, hospital run, or a special Wednesday trip, please sign up for the bus. Please, please, please sign up. Last week, Tilia went down and was ready to go for a trip. Nobody had signed up, so then she came to help me with the project. A couple minutes later, 7 people showed up for that trip. And so by that time, we were working on something else, and then she went back down. But just please sign up if you know you're going to go. Or even if you decide 30 minutes before, call myself or call Brittany, call the bus phone. Just let us know that you're going so we can put your name down. We have the resident play this Thursday that many of you are in, directed and produced by Mary Reinhardt with a lot of residents, right here Thursday at 7 o'clock. In May, we have 2 happy hours. Both will be taking place down in the dining room. We are having a Cinco de Mayo happy hour a couple days early on May 3rd. We'll be having a mariachi band and margaritas. And then on Thursday the 18th, we will also be down in the dining room because we are having a senior prom. And so we invite you all to break out your dancing shoes and your dresses. We will have our dance floor out and be hosting a big prom downstairs. Like Antonio said, we also have Mother's Day and Memorial Day coming up. We'll be doing some special programs for both of those. Barb's Boutique, that many of you have shopped at before, will be here May 23rd. Barb brings her boutique and sets it up on the 2nd floor, and so she'll be here again May 23rd from 12 to 4. Some other good news, besides Avery helping out with Walking Club, Penny will be helping out with Uno and Apples to Apples coming up. So a lot of great help coming over to the side while Shantae heads out for a little bit. But other great news, I don't know if he's in our crowd now, but I'm sure you all remember last summer we had a resident get selected to be hero of the game at the Cubs game. That was Mr. Robert James. Well, Bob McCumber just got selected to be hero of the game at a White Sox game coming up. Yes. So we are very excited for him. If you see him, congratulate him. I will make sure that the game is on in our game room or video room. It's a Sunday, so it might be during some services happening, that he will be the hero of the game for that White Sox game on May 21st. So say congratulations if you see him. The only other thing I'd like to say is that we have been working on the gardens out on the 3rd floor deck with the maintenance department. Things are underway. Our water is on the deck if you are a gardener, and then our soil and everything will be coming up this Thursday. So I will be sending a memo to all of our gardeners, just a little update about all of that. Any questions? Ruth?
It's impressive how you can balance it all. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Ruth.
What was the question?
Ruth said, I do a good job of balancing it all these different plates. Marion?
Yes, and as the head of the gardening group, I just wanted to particularly thank you for paying such close attention when we had that gardening meeting and really noting what we needed and making it happen so quickly. I was very impressed. Thank you.
Marion, who is the head of the garden committee, was saying thank you for getting these gardening things up and running, and I will say I could not have done that without Norm and members of the maintenance team who have also been working very hard all together to get our gardens up and running. And so a little construction being done, but they will be all good to go soon.
And Jim.
And Jim, yes. Jim helping move soil, and Tilia picking up soil. A lot of good hands helping out. Sherry?
Yes, did you have any chance to work on getting Sky tickets for the women's basketball?
Sherry has asked about going to see the Chicago Sky. It's the women's basketball team. I will write a note to look into tickets for the Sky team. We do not currently have any tickets for them, but I'll look into it. Rich, who is our Sunday bingo host, or Saturday and Sunday, I have been reminded to give a plug. We are looking for a couple extra resident helpers to help out with weekend bingo. You don't always have to be the only person there, and if you are hosting, you can also play a card if you'd like to, but we're looking for some helpers with our weekend bingo just to keep everything going smoothly. So reach out to me, give me a call, or come talk to me after if you'd like to help out. Okay, anything else? Okay, thank you all.
I have, can we give a cheer to Shantae, who's going to be gone for a little bit?
Ruth would like to give a cheer to Miss Shantae, who's heading out soon. She is right over on the side with Miss Skylar there.
Hello everyone, I'm Jessica Prince, the dining room manager. Familiar with all of you, nice to see you all again. So we have a couple new servers that just got hired, Halim and Lillian. And over the past weekend, we also had another one start, her name is Evelyn. Hope you guys got to meet her. Just still doing more hiring, getting your food out to you, hot and nice and fresh. Get a couple more friendly faces in here for you guys to help us to keep everything going. Anybody have any questions?
There have been concerns raised about the placemats at dinner because, first of all, they're not changed between seatings, and you can turn them over and they're cleaner on the other side, but that's only 2 times. And the material that the placemats are made out of collects debris from the meals, and I know that those placemats can be laundered in a washing machine. At least that's what I was told when they first came in. And there is concern about their not being very clean. And I don't know what can be done about it. One suggestion had been made about having a nice quality paper placemat instead, and that might people may not want that at all. I don't know, but is there anything that can be done about that? What's your concern?
So the question was about the placemats that's on the table. They're supposed to be getting taken off and washed with every rotation. I'll look into that and I can get back to you and let you know exactly what'll be done.
What do you mean by rotation?
Every time the table gets rotated, it's supposed to get picked up
You mean every time a new group sits at the table?
Yes, ma'am.
The rotation is?
and washed off.
Oh, okay, because I can tell you it's not happening.
It's not happening.
All right, I'll look into that and I will definitely get back to you with that.
Thank you.
I think there's a difference between washed off and like washed in the washing machine. Yes, I think they're generally wiped down, but the stuff still just collects in those little cracks.
So I'll look into it and I'll make sure that it's being completely took off the tables and took back to the dishwasher and washed.
Well, I feel that paper, a good quality paper mat is much more attractive, and it gets thrown away after you use it. So all the dirt and mess that could happen goes when you leave.
So her question was, she feels that the paper mats would be a better choice versus the ones we already have. So we'll look into that and we'll see what we can do to make it better and accommodate you guys. Any more questions?
I had sent in on one of the comment cards that, and I let people know that we, in the morning, near the windows on the, where you sit in the benches, we have mice, and we're still seeing them. So I just wanted people to know we do have mice in the dining room that are bold enough to show themselves quite frequently in the morning.
Okay, I'm sure Michelle, she got all that written down and she will definitely look into that.
Just one quick thing, and it's not something I don't think is really a major thing, but on a couple of occasions at my table, we have found some of the silverware that was not clean, and it we obviously changed it at that time, but I don't know if that's prevalent or not. It was.
Okay, I'll make sure that we check more into the silverware before we wrap it up. But that shouldn't be happening.
Any possibilities of look for the future of looking into a linen service?
I would have to check into that and get back to you.
RFP, put it out as a possibility.
Well, we have a linen service. Like, is it a specific type of linen service you mean, or what?
I'm just saying for dining room applications. I don't know what the other linen services are, but for the future.
We have a linen service already.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd like to say that the breakfast coffee cup situation seems to be better for whatever reason. I just got to be more than the 4 cups that were recovered. It's better. And yeah, and the coffee. My experience has been that the coffee has been there, but I don't know about other people. But
Yeah, so we got more coffee cups in, so there's a lot of them.
Yes, I want to encourage something positive. It is so delightful to go down there, and white coffee cups are on all the tables.
That's good. That was the goal.
Of course, I missed the hunt, and also the coffee urns seem to be filled better because they were running out like before 9:30, and now they seem to be. So both the coffee situation, and that really makes the day start positively.
Good. I'm glad everybody's happy and getting their coffee.
Well, yes.
I don't know if this is your responsibility or Antonio's, but the various machines that dispense juice and coffee and cappuccino, is that you or is that him?
It's both of us.
Pardon me?
Both of us.
Okay. I don't know what the issue is, but many days, there's no orange juice, or there's no this or that. And even when there is, the ratio of water to the juice is very sporadic. Sometimes the apple juice, it's like water rather than apple juice. Sometimes it's extra concentrated.
You talk to your server about that?
Well, no, I did, you get your own juice in the morning.
Okay, please, I
Doc-
gotta.
The cappuccino.
Doc's concern is that the juice machine, the ratios are inconsistent. He says sometimes it's thicker, sometimes it's watery, or the dispensing system. The juice machines are set by the contractors that provide the equipment. They're set at one dilution ratio. Now, the reason Antonio asked, just mention it to your server, is because when the concentrate runs out, it will start to water down and dilute the juice. So if the server's not attentive to what's coming out or what's happening to the concentrate, you will get watered down juice. But please let the server know, because they have to go to the back and retrieve a new container. You've probably seen them, the big plastic containers that go inside, and switch it out. And sometimes you have to switch it out in the middle of breakfast and it won't last. So please let the server know if the dilution of the juice is not right. Let the server know right away, because something obviously is wrong and it may need to be switched out. Yes.
Sorry. Two things. Sometimes you said let the server know. Sometimes the breakfast only has one helper, okay?
Sherry feels that the breakfast sometimes only has one helper.
And it's really...
At breakfast, we usually actually never have just one person in the dining room. There are several people assigned in that shift. Now, one of them has to attend to the fourth floor.
Right.
And there are some individuals that help out in other areas, but there's never just one. So I don't want, the conversation to start that we only have one person running that entire dining room for breakfast. Now, will I look at, and I'm going to talk to Antonio about where they're deployed and what their assignments are. I'll talk to him about that. But there's always more than one person, okay? I don't want to get into the numbers, but there's always more than one person. But I'm going to talk to him about where they are and what their assignments are.
And also, I know that we've had the ice machine go down several times where there's no ice under the fruit or the juices or the milk and stuff like that. I'm wondering...
She's referring to the ice machine was down. Yes, it was, and they repaired it Tuesday, Wednesday? When did they repair that ice machine during all that? Wednesday.
Okay.
So the ice machine has been repaired, so we had some challenges with the ice machine.
Okay.
So we went to Mariano's a couple of times, bought a lot of ice, and we tried to make it work, but on Wednesday it was repaired.
Okay.
They came out.
Great.
I'm gonna get on to a few things here that have come up. Yes,
I just need to end it on a positive note. We are so fortunate in that dining space. It's elegant, and in talking to the servers, they're proud of where they work and of their profession and how they deliver. And I just think there should be applause to that. That's a good way of ending this.
well, thank you. She just wanted to end it on a positive note.
Yeah.
And I think she is very cognizant of the effort and the staff. It's not easy to find the folks that we find, and Avery's doing a good job, but it's not for everyone. And you guys got into a few conversations about different positions and questions about recruitment. This place is the biggest senior living community in senior lifestyle. It's referred to as the Beast for a reason. We have over 10,000 square feet of retail. We have a 34-story high-rise that's 37, 38 years old. And I would say yes, you have a lot to be very, very grateful, and I appreciate that. And the dining room, the space, what we're able to offer this community, from selections to transportation to programming to where you reside, right here on the lakefront on Foster Avenue Beach. I can't say enough. I appreciate that, because there's a lot to be grateful for. I mean, very, very fortunate to be here, for everyone. But for us, it's not easy. It's tough, and it's not for everybody. Just like the plant ops position, just like other positions. What you guys see is on the outside. There's a lot more to it, and there are a lot of layers to every role, every responsibility, and how things happen behind the scenes and how we make it happen as a group. Molly touched on it, and I'm gonna go there. Look, the planter boxes, we're still trying to figure that out. The weather won't cooperate. I mean, the plumbing's done. There was a lot of work on the maintenance side that needed to be done. We still have other work to do. The weather's been a challenge. Hopefully, no one got carried away planting too much, but it snowed right after that, and here we are. And on that note, we're on AC now too, and they're gonna get painted too, by the way. Molly, went through that process with myself, but again, we have to wait for the weather to cooperate, and they will get painted and renumbered. We're not gonna switch the numbers around. On that note, the AC, it was 70s for about a week. It was nice out. Then we got snow and flurries and all kinds of stuff. So now we're on AC. So the bright side of that is that there were a few repairs necessary. Every time you turn the system on, something comes up. So the repairs were made, coils were cleaned, chillers were serviced. So when it does get 70, 80 again, we're fine. We're ready to go, and the systems are working. So we're on the AC. Yes, sir?
What happened in the pool area? The ceiling of the pool was pristine once they had replaced everything. Now it looks like crap again. Is anybody doing anything about the water that's coming into those areas upstairs? This would have been a prime time to have done that. Why wasn't something done?
If you can imagine the amount of pipes that navigate this community, some are cold water pipes, some are hot water pipes, some are HVAC pipes that have to do with the air conditioning, and they creep through every square inch of this building. So when you see things like that, yes, there was a leak. It was on 4, and it came down. We did major work to that pool because of something else that happened. Now something else occurred, and we have to replace the ceiling tile. The same thing for the fitness center. I mean, I was here Saturday. We were able to open it right away, but now we have to go ahead and replace some of those ceiling tiles. So what we do is we order them in cases now. So we're trying to avoid, I'll tell you what's going on. We're trying to avoid what you see in the fitness center. It's the hodgepodge of like 12 different kinds of ceiling tile. So now what we're trying to do is order them all like one type and by the case. So in the meantime, we're gonna have to plug the fitness center. Leak was fixed, that was taken care of right away. The pool, over the pool was taken care of, but we're just gonna try to put some ceiling tile back until we can get the same like tile. But we're gonna cover it up. So regardless of what we do to this building, we will continue to have leaks, pipes bursting, other issues. It's an old house, 37, 38 years old. We're just fortunate we're keeping up with it. We're doing the repairs and making major investments in the building infrastructure. So that's unavoidable a little bit. No, I appreciate it, but it's just being honest with you. I don't want to, mislead you and say, oh yeah, we fixed all the leaks in this building. As long as I'm living and walking this earth, that won't happen. So I want to be truthful that that's something we got to stay and keep doing and doing and doing.
The leak in the pool area is at the same place in the ceiling and has been every time it leaks. Somebody ought to look at what's above that area, because it's not that hard to find out how to deal with a small area like that. Look upstairs from that area.
He's still referring to the details of what's leaking above the ceiling. We'll keep working on it. We'll continue to do what we're doing to the common area spaces, including right now, the other one that was on the list, I think someone asked, and I said, okay, I'll let you know, but it hasn't been scheduled, and it's again due to weather. It's the window washing for the spring. But they won't even give us a date yet because of the weather, and they got to project it out. And if you can imagine, they have a lot of buildings to do. So they're trying to keep us right now abreast of where they are in their schedule. And when the weather starts to shift, where they're gonna put us on their schedule. This building gets done over a couple of days, and then you'll get notices that say, this day, this day, this day, this is when the window washers are going to be here. The inspection, we talked about that when the vents came up. That's gonna entail quite a few things. There's a whole checklist. We've already started going through it. Smoke detector, the filter, I added the vent. It's quite a bit. It's quite a list of things. Outlets are on there and a few other items. Hallways, haven't heard anything. I was on a call last Thursday. We still don't have a date for the next batch of hallways, but it's on the radar. We're awaiting a response and a commitment from the contractor when they get a delivery on the carpet. That's the longest delay right now, the carpet manufacturing. Yes, ma'am.
I want to try and make this positively, but I listened to WFMT and they had this wonderful advertisement for the breakers. Really mentioning that your maintenance would be taken care of. So emotionally, when I look at that vent situation, I need that done right away. I mean, I know you've got this, it definitely should be an annual thing, but I don't want to use the word emergency because it's not, and also I heard that other people are getting a particular heavy problem right now, so I think that's something, I'll send a work order that may need a more immediate attention.
She is referring to her vent again in 21K, and I know the apartment because I wrote it down, and it will be addressed, and we're going to go specifically there and have someone clean that vent because it's obviously troubling. But we will get to the entire building at some point when we do the REAC inspection with all the other items. The other things on here, yes, ma'am.
Just with the new hallway renovations, and this is a small thing, but I don't know if this is on somebody's list somewhere. The new lamps that we have, they have these beautiful scallops at the bottom. They really collect a lot of dust. And I don't know what the schedule is for cleaning those or if that's been figured out, but it's something that needs to be unfortunately looked at.
She's referring to the new lamps on the remodeled hallways. They have a loop on the bottom. She says they collect dust. Michelle's hopefully writing this down because the housekeepers during a week's time, they hit every floor in this building, and it wouldn't take much with, I don't know what you call the dust thing, the duster. You're in the hallways, you just dust them off real quick, and every hallway in this building is visited at least once a week by the housekeepers. So common areas, and just so you know, even the chairs, common areas in those hallways, the chairs, the lamps in the hallway, all those items, it's the housekeeper's responsibility to stay on top of that. She's navigating that floor all day, from apartment to apartment. So she should be responsible to address anything that you see or anything that's obvious and maintaining that hallway if you're on the 4th floor all day. And that's, all your apartments are on the 4th floor, the chairs, anything on that floor should be attended to. Yes.
On this topic of advertising, we advertise on, as she said, WFMT Channel 11. Is anything being addressed about getting better signal or a different service or an upgraded service from the signal that we get?
Her question, or she's inquiring about the future of our service here when it comes to TV signal, etc. I don't believe she was here then, but about a year ago, we talked about this, and I said, oh, here's a long list of my dreams and all of that. And one of the things on that list was internet and phone, TV provider, all those things that are on that list. A few weeks ago, a conversation was started with Senior Lifestyle about the future of cable services and some other IT infrastructure in this building. But that's a big investment and a big conversation. So again, things just don't happen quickly sometimes, and they have to involve professionals in that area of expertise. But yes, the conversations right now are circling about the future of your TV programming in this building. So, stay tuned. Haha, that was kind of funny.
No pun intended.
No, on the Heart of Caring, I have to say, it was awesome. I wasn't here, but I was blessed with some pictures and a video. And there are a couple of things that I love more than anything, and that's to make people cry for good, and that was Arlene. She cried. She cried. I watched the entire thing, and they did an amazing job. I wasn't here, but I saw the video, I saw the pictures, and I can't thank you enough because, like I shared, it's not easy. This isn't for everybody. This is tough. But people like Arlene or others that go out of their way and just kind of add some joy to what we do on a day by day by day by day for a long time. I'd say, what, 30 years possibly, Arlene, or something like that? She's deserving, and it was amazing to watch and to see the emotion in her, and just it was simple. We didn't give her a new car, we didn't buy her a new house. It was just a thank you, a hug, and a certificate, and just recognition, and it went a long way. So please, the Heart of Caring nomination boxes in that mailroom, if you fill them out, they all read them, they all vote on this, they all discuss it, and it's quarterly, every 3 months. So I look forward to the next one. On that same note, Kristen touched on the new residents. There are a lot of new residents, a lot. Some of you that are on the newer side can remember that the process entailed meeting with all the managers individually, including myself at the end. That's a very, very important process for me and for them to understand what's going on during those first 30 days, first couple of weeks, how things work here, because when someone moves in, and remember this, just reach out to them. It's difficult. Your head is spinning, you don't know which way to go, you don't know where anything is happening, you don't know how to sign up to go get groceries, transportation. It's like high school again. You don't know where to sit in the lunchroom without upsetting somebody because you don't have many friends. It's really difficult. I spend a lot of time with the new residents just talking, getting to understand their life story and how it's going. And that's probably one of the most difficult parts, is integrating yourself into an existing group of people and community. Finding friends, finding those connections. So those of you that are very active out there, I know who you are, you're at everything, you run in programs, whether it's bingo, exercise, you do different things, please reach out to the new residents. Make yourself known in the dining room. Help them kind of figure it out a little bit. We do talk to them, we meet with them, but it's a lot to take in, a lot to take in. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say, speaking about new residents, I think we are trying to, there's a table that they sit at, we sit with them, have dinner with them, find out what they'd like so that they can get in contact with the correct, person who's in charge, if you're a gardener and stuff like that. So I think we are doing a lot that I'm sure you're aware of or not aware of, I don't know. And we will continue to. And if there's more people that want to join into the new residence committee, we're always looking for good new people who represent the new residents.
She's referring to all the measures that are taken to try to integrate a new resident. And there is a new resident welcome committee. I think that's the name of it. Something along those lines. And I think Ms. Sherry's a part of it, Ms. Mohammed perhaps. There's a few people. Right. What she's asking is that if anyone's interested or anyone feels like they can add value to that group and that experience in trying to integrate someone into the lifestyle here at the Breakers, please let her know. Let them know. The more the merrier.
Absolutely.
And not everyone will, have the time or availability that day, that week, and at different, times of the summer. So please let her know if you'd like to join that group. On that note, I thank you for your patience, and I mean it. It's a lot, but the summer's here. I look forward to May. It's going to be really busy, and enjoy your summer.